So I've got this older compact tractor here. It's a Kioti LK3054. I think it's like a late 90s, 97, 98, something like that. And I've been wanting to make a grapple attachment for it for a little while, so I've kind of been collecting parts. I have all these pieces cut out. It's a 1/4-inch plate I went with. I cut it all out freehand with a plasma cutter, so they're not perfect, but it's good enough for what it's for. I went with 1/4. I was kind of going back and forth on the thickness. I don't want this to be super heavy, so I'm trying to find a happy medium between strong enough and not super heavy, because the you know, you're limited to the loader capacity. I think this is rated for like maybe 1,000 pounds or something. So I'm gonna go with 1/4-inch for all the teeth, and then some 2.5-inch square tube and a 2-inch square tube to tie them together. Here's kind of the template I went with, get an idea. So it's gonna attach to the quick attach plate kind of like this. So the tubes are gonna run through there, and that's gonna be square to the plate, and then some more support tubes up top. And then I got these cylinders and these random length hoses at an auction a little while ago. So these are gonna be my two grab cylinders to close the lid of the grapple. And then 2 of these hoses are actually pretty much a perfect length to reach to the back of the tractor, to the hydraulic remote I'm gonna use. That's how I'm gonna control the grapple, with the hydraulic remote. So I'm gonna run those hoses up and around, and then put some quick connect couplers up here to attach to those cylinders. I kind of wanted to do a third function and tap into hydraulics, and need another lever and all that. I didn't want to do a diverter valve, which is pretty common now. Most people divert the tilt cylinders with like a button on the lever, and it diverts those hydraulics to the grab. I didn't really want to do that, so for right now, I think this is going to be best for me, and you control the remotes with that. So I'm going to try that, and that should work out for now. So now I just got to wrap my head around what I originally had planned. I did this a little while ago, so I'm going to figure out what I had planned to do, and then get some kind of jig set up and start tacking pieces together. So I think I remembered my plan. So I got these 2 tubes tacked down. They're parallel and square. And then on the end here, these ones don't have any holes in it because they're the end, and they'll cap off the end. And then the first 2, they're gonna be pretty close together like this, because of strength, because the 2 ends are gonna see a lot of action. And the cylinder, when I mount the cylinder, the 2 lid tongs are going to be in between here, and I got to get the right spacing for them to tie into that pin. So the cylinder is going to be under here, but that's just showing the spacing. So I got to get the right spacing, and then the lid tongs are going to tie to the inside of this pin. And then I'm going to start welding in all these tongs. I think I figured for like 8 inches on center or something. So now that I have this half together, I'm thinking I might be overbuilding it a little bit. For this tractor, obviously, for a tractor this size, that was the point, making a grapple light enough but still heavy duty for a smaller tractor. Obviously on a skid steer or a bigger machine, it would handle it plenty fine, but I'm gonna keep going. It's looking pretty cool. I ended up with like 7.5 inches in between here, tacked some gussets in. So now I'm gonna start working on the lid part. So I'm gonna do it the same way I built this, just opposite, as if the lid were all the way open. I'm gonna build it out here, so that way I have my spacing and everything right. I don't think I intended on doing it this way. Like I said, I cut all these out a little while ago. I don't remember my total plan, but I only cut out 5 of these top lid tongs. So I thought I wanted to go 1 for 1. There's 6 down here, but I only have 5 of these, so I'm just gonna go in between them. And there won't be any on this end or that end. I don't know, I might add some later, but for right now, just gonna go in between these and see if that works. And also, I didn't think about it, I got this bar tacked in. I can't fit the rest of these in there because of the angle of them coming down. There's no way to twist it or work it in there because these holes are too tight. So instead of cutting this apart, I think I'm just gonna cut a little angle on all these so that they can drop in, because I got it all nice and square and set up the way it is. So I'm gonna cut a little angle on these, drop it in, and if it's too much to fill with weld, I'll have to weld those little pieces back in. See that angle I had to cut out. I'll definitely weld those back in later. But the main shell is all tacked together now, so I'm gonna break it loose, and then I'm gonna prop up the bottom part somewhat vertical, and then figure out where I need to drill my hole for this pivot, because it's not gonna be able to open up this big. These down here are gonna be sticking out this way for the cylinder to attach to, so the hole on the lid is going to be somewhere around here, and then on the lower part the hole will be closer up here. Now it's starting to look like a grapple. So I got it pretty close, I think, to where I want it. So this is what I was talking about. That's gonna stick over, and my cylinders are gonna mount on each end to those. So it'll be pinned up there, and then I gotta make a bracket down here. And then this is gonna be the mounting plate for the quick connects on the tractor. So it's gonna be pinned up there, and this is probably closed all the way. I might get a little bit more out of it. So I gotta find where my holes are, make sure it's not twisted and cocked any, and then pop some holes and put some pins in it. I'll probably sleeve it. I'll probably find like a piece of pipe to go through all 4 layers, and then a pin that goes through that. So I made those pivot points, kind of made like a sleeve and a pin. That's the best I could come up with the stuff I had. It's better than just holes and a pin in there and the steel. I'm gonna try to drill and tap for a grease fitting in the middle there, but I don't know if the grease gun will fit in here. This is like 3/4 of an inch, I think. Unless they might make like a long grease nipple. I'll see if I could figure that out. So it's almost open all the way. It can open to like 30 inches from point to point, which I think is enough for what I'm using it for. And then I don't know if I mentioned it, it's about 55 inches wide overall. So it's coming together. Next thing I want to do is figure out my quick connect and get it mounted on the tractor before I figure out these cylinders. So I just want to make sure however I'm mounting these, that's going to be in a closed position all the way. Before I mount these, because these are going to be on either side of the quick connects here. They'll be right there and right there. So I want to get it mounted to make sure these won't be in the way of anything going on there. The best way I found to do these, if you're making your own, is after you get your spacing. I already got my spacing. A standard skid steer quick connect is 44 inches by 16, I'm pretty sure. So if you have a piece of angle and you want to hold that angle, it's a 90 degree on that same plane. So I'm just going to hold that there and then get your top plate and it'll match. Hold it right. I don't have an extra hand, but hold that there and this, and that'll get your 90 degrees. Because the quick connects, this is 90 degrees, so that's the angle that you need for that top bar. I got all those tabs welded on. It locks in real nice. So everything's just tacked still, but it seems to be fitting pretty good. Next thing I noticed, I got to notch out. I got to give this cylinder more clearance. So I got to cut out and around, and then it's going to sit pretty much parallel to this back jaw here. So I got to make some kind of bracketry where it's going to anchor down here. So originally I had cut out this piece a 1/4 inch and was gonna fit it on there to get some weld there and then on the back side of that tube. But then I thought it would be better, I had some of this 3/8 plate. I'm gonna go all the way in to the front of that tooth there, get this up and then weld it on that tube also, and then it'll bolt in there. The only thing I'm a little worried about is that this cylinder's sitting center right now where it wants to be, and this bracket is going to be off to that left side. So I don't know if it's going to want to, how much pressure it might want to bend that, so I might end up welding another one on this side to keep that a little bit stiffer. Be nice to have like I wish I had like a 1/2 inch or 3/4 fat plate. I could have done that same thing too. And then I wouldn't have had to put another one here, but that's all I had was that 3/8. And then one other problem that I'm sure somebody's already thinking is my hoses are gonna be coming, I'm gonna be 90ing right out of these cylinders and up and fasten it on the top here somewhere. But when I go to hook this up, I'm dangerously close to just smacking the crap out of those fittings and hoses. So I might be able to take this cylinder apart and rotate, because the way the pins are, they got to be this way. If I could rotate, this one's easy to rotate. You can unbolt that and spin that, but this bottom one, I don't know if I can unbolt that and spin that whole cylinder 90 degrees. To stick them out the back would be best. But if I can't do that, I might make some kind of plate shield here to prevent me from smacking those when I come in. So I ordered some hoses, almost what I needed. I wasn't really paying attention when I ordered these. 2 of them are pipe fittings and 2 of them have the JIC end, so I wasn't paying attention. I ordered them already cut to length. That was quite a bit cheaper than having them custom made to what I needed. So I found some 30-inch long and some 40-inch, and that works for what I need. But I wasn't paying attention to the fitting end, so I had to get some adapters, the JIC to pipe thread 1/2 inch. But I'm just waiting on the T's to come. The T's to tie in both cylinders from each end, and then the quick connects are coming off the other end of the T. So the longer hoses on the bottom, the 40-inch, and then the 30-inch will run up here, and they'll connect in the middle to the T's and then tie into the third function. So while I'm waiting on the T's to come, I'm gonna finish welding this up, I think, do some more gusseting, probably make some kind of channel for the hose to get protected in. And I decided I'm just gonna leave these cylinders pointed this way. I was worried about running into these fittings when I connect it. I'm gonna weld like a piece of flat stock right here somewhere, so there's no way it'll be before the fitting, so there's no way to hit it. I like them kind of protected in here. I definitely don't want them out that end, and I kind of don't really like them out the back either. So I think welding a piece of flat bar here will protect them and protect them from me hitting them. So I'm gonna finish welding them up, doing some touch-up things, and maybe slap some paint on it. Then hopefully the T-fittings I need get here in a couple days. So I got some paint on the grapple, and I think I finally got all the fittings I need. So I'm gonna get to the fun part and start putting this thing back together. For these pins, I ended up drilling a hole down this way and then through the side where it's gonna need grease coming out, and then I put the fitting on the end. It was too tight in here. I couldn't get a fitting for the grease gun to get in there. I haven't done it on these pins yet, but that's probably what I'm gonna do. So I changed my mind again. I ended up coming out the back. There just wasn't enough room to go on the side like that. So these are pretty universal. I did have to take these apart, unbolt them, and spin it 90 degrees, but then I also had to take out a plug, and the bottom has 4 plugs, but they're different sizes. So I still had to spin it to get to this 1/2 inch size that I needed. But I think that works out better. It was just too tight in there. I couldn't make it work without probably something breaking. Still got to be careful. It's kind of vulnerable out here too. This is the best I could come up with for mounting these tees. See if it works. I don't know if it will. I thought about welding something with a bracket, but I think this will be strong enough. This should lock it together. I think. Oh yeah. Like I said, when I was ordering these, I wasn't paying attention. So these two hoses on top are the JIC fitting, and pretty much everything else I have is pipe thread. So I had to order these adapters. Otherwise, I wouldn't need those adapters. Like these hoses, I could thread right into this tee. So I was cheaper to just buy those adapters and get two new hoses. Wrench is too thick. I'm running on that crimp right there. What the heck? Had to be done. I ground a little bit off of that one. I think those will be strong enough. I've seen it done this way before. I don't know if that's the right way to do it, but we'll see. Okay, now the only thing left to do is run my hoses all the way up and around back to my remote back here. And then it's time to try it out. Hopefully if it works. So I got these hoses hooked up to my rear remotes, and I misjudged how much I would actually need, how much hose to run it down and around and up and with the loader and still have enough play for when the loader goes up and when it tilts. I got these hoses with these cylinders, actually. I thought they were gonna be just what I needed. But so this is temporary till I figure out what I gotta do to get enough hose to run it nice. But until then, I just gotta deal with it hanging over here, which is fine. So I'm gonna see if this thing works now. It's not the fastest, but I'm gonna pump a little grease in these and then I'm gonna try picking some stuff up. right, so that's pretty cool. Takes a little getting used to, but as of right now, I'm pretty happy with it. The biggest issue I'm having right now, or I'm seeing, is that my control for the rear remotes is right here. And so when I'm working, you got to kind of work the loader up and tilt and this at the same time. I find myself bringing my left hand around. So I'm thinking I either make some kind of lever mechanism down to one of my feet, or maybe like an arm up close to this lever. I'll have to play around with that and these hoses I got to figure out. Other than that, when I was painting it, I just realized that when I was painting it, I should have put gussets on these top tongs like I did down there. I might bend these around, so I'll probably add that on later, but we'll see how it holds up. So I definitely have a ton of projects I want to do with this, so make sure you guys stay tuned and see how this holds up over time. I'm definitely going to be using and abusing it. So thanks for watching.